Hey there. I'd just like to say the reason that this video is a little weird is because this is my first time actually making a video that has my voice in it. And I was very nervous and I didn't know what I was saying, so some of what I say is kind of weird and sometimes I stutter or stop talking and there's background noises, and that's because I'm very new to this and I don't have the right things to record properly and I'm weird and bad at talking. Also, here's a picture of my cat so that it's not a blank screen while I record this small little message. Hopefully this video doesn't turn out all too bad, and hopefully it's still enjoyable. This is a video I'm making to talk about the process of how I made the wings for my Halloween costume. This is already my second time attempting to film this because the first time I only sped up the footage halfway because I wanted the video to be somewhat long so that I at least had time to talk, and I didn't feel like I was being rushed by the speed of the video. When I realized that wasn't really going to do me much good because I ended up stuttering and going quiet on multiple occasions, I decided to speed up the video as fast as my editing app will allow me to, and then do a voiceover over the extremely sped up version. I don't really think I need to explain anything I'm doing in this video, so I'm probably just going to talk about the materials I used and why I made it. This is supposed to be a costume of the main character of my original series, Astrist. She's a Puritan, which is a hybrid bird and deer creature from fantasy. I don't know if it comes from mythology or any specific fantasy area, but it is just a hybrid of a bird and a deer. In my character Astrist's case, she is a hybrid between a phoenix and a deer because why not? I don't know if there's a legitimate reason as to why I made her that way, but that's what I wanted her to be. She is probably my favorite OC, if I have to admit, and definitely my favorite character from my original series, as she is the main character and is probably one of my proudest characters I've made so far. And I'm not very proud of myself usually, so that's saying something it's quite the saying for me. I really wanted to do a Halloween costume of her because last year I did a Halloween costume of my OC Lilac, except I did a horrible job and I really want to redeem myself for that horrible costume later on by remaking it better. But now's not the time for that. The previous year, so 2 years ago, I did a Halloween costume of Toy Bonnie. Not my AU version of Toy Bonnie, just normal Toy Bonnie. And that one also was really bad, and another one I want to remake and do better. But before I remade any of these costumes, I wanted to make a costume of my favorite OC, which is Astrist. Originally, I was going to make huge articulated wings that opened and closed, but they ended up horribly because I was making them out of cardboard, which isn't a very suggested material. So I struggled a bit with those and ended up not using them. And I still have them, and I might make a video talking about them just because it's interesting, and I did have fun making them. They were very stressful to make, only for them to end out bad. I only added the feathers to one of them, and it looked so bad I didn't even want to keep adding feathers because I had to hand cut them out, which was getting really tiring, and it's a lot of work. And it would have been worth the work if the actual skeleton of the wing had turned out good, but it hadn't, and it was really weak and was already falling apart. I still need to fight the urge to work on them and possibly take them apart to use the armature wire and cardboard for other things. These wings that I ended up making are a lot smaller than I initially wanted them to be, but I could only make them so big with the limitations of how big a piece of cardboard actually was. And since I was making them out of cardboard boxes, I didn't have access to larger sheets or panels of cardboard, meaning I had to keep them around this size, which is honestly a good thing since previous costume wings I have made of my Sona obsolete. Previous of wings I've made for her have looked wrong because they're just massive. And they take up so much space. Apparently, this is all I have time to record, so I know this is a very rough audio, and it's frozen on screen now, and I'm sorry. Hopefully this was at least somewhat interesting to watch, and my voice isn't too annoying. I'm not going to play my outro because my outro is outdated, and I need to make a new one. So, this is the outro. You should check out my Instagram, which I'll put in the description because it won't be at the end. You can also check out my Amino, but that's less interesting.